This lesson is on using the while loop. The while loop is a little bit different way of doing looping code in PHP. It's a little bit different than the for loop that we covered earlier. I'm going to show you several ways to do a while loop. I've entered 3 items here into a grocery list that allows up to 7 items: apples, pears, and carrots. And I'm going to go ahead and submit this. Now, like I did with the for loop, I have a very simple while loop I'm going to show you that is just repeating the line numbers. It doesn't relate to the data that we just saw. But this grocery list does. Apples, pears, carrots. That looks good. And there's an alternative way to generate this that I'm going to show you. It's the same thing. Apples, pears, carrots. And then I have a grocery list where we skip pears entirely. And it just shows apples and carrots. So that's the code that I'm going to show you, how you generated these various outputs using a while loop. Okay, so here we are. This is the HTML code. Very similar. Item 1, item 2, so forth, down to item 7. Nothing much going on here, but I did it all manually. I could actually use PHP to generate those, and we'll do something like that a little later. But right now, I just typed them all out. Let's go to the PHP code. Let's go to the top here. So it's the while loop. I wanted to show you just a very simple while loop. Now, the thing about a while loop is it doesn't have a built-in counter. If you want to use a counter with a while loop, you have to manage that yourself. Remember how we had $II in the for loop? Well, here I made up a variable name. It's an abbreviation for counter, CNTR, and I set it to 1. I can't do that within the while loop, not within this parentheses code. The only thing I can have in here is a comparison. That was in the middle of the parameters for the for loop, but here in a while loop I can only have a comparison. Comparisons, once again, can be one of 2 things they can resolve to. They can be true or they can be false. As long as this comparison is true, it'll keep doing the code that's between the curly braces that happens right below the while. Now there's 2 lines here. It's going to print line number, kind of like what we saw before, and print the counter. Instead of II, like we had in the for loop, I have $counter and a break. But look, I have an extra line of code. I have to bump up the counter myself because it's not part of what goes in the while loop. So I got that to work, and I had to manage my own counter. Now, truth be told, if you want to do something like this, you're almost always going to use a for loop. Generally, you don't use the while loop to manage counters in the comparison. Generally, we use while loops to look for some condition that's changed that's not based on a numeric counter. But this was a simple case just to give you an idea of how it worked. Let's go down now to the grocery list, the first way I want to show you. Once again, I set a counter to 1. I set an item number to be equal dummy. You'll see why in a moment. Now, the condition in here is not empty item. That's why I set this equal to dummy, because this first time in, I need this to be true. I'm not actually going to do anything with a dummy item, but I needed to make sure that the first time this while ran, that comparison evaluated to be true. And so dummy is not empty. That is true. Now it'll go on and do this code. So similarly that I've done before, I'm building up the name. Item 1 first time through. It'll be item 2 the second time through. I'm building up the HTML name. I'm appending them together and putting them in this special field to hold the name of the element that I want to get in the $post. So item HTML name. So it'll be item 1, item 2, item 3, so forth. And that will come back in here, the value. Now I look at, is it empty or not? Remember when I filled this form in? Let's go back for a second. I left 4 of these blank. I only filled in 3. So I need to check for that. So I need to know if it's empty or not. And if it's not empty, I put something in there, then go ahead and print the word item and what the item was and print it out. And it did that. We got apples, pears, carrots to print out. But I have to manage the counter here. And in this loop, I do need the counter for building this item name attribute value. Here I need it, but I'm not basing my conditions of the while loop, I'm not basing them on the counter. I'm basing it on whether I find an empty item or not. Now, if I fill in all the rows on the items, this will still eventually be empty because it won't exist anymore. I'll try to get an 8th item and it won't be there. So let's go on. This is probably the pure, technically correct way to do it. But I have to admit, I don't like having to repeat this condition. If not empty item here, and if not empty item here. Just sort of bothers me. So there's a way around this, but you have to be careful with it. And this is the alternate way to do a grocery list. Instead of putting a condition in the while loop, you put the word true. Remember that all this code will happen over and over again as long as this is true? Well, if I put the word true in there, it's always true. Now, here's the risk. I had better put something in this code that will stop this loop. Otherwise, it's known as an infinite loop. It'll keep running over and over again until it hits a condition that tells it to stop. Fortunately, I'm good at putting that in here, and it's really easy to check. You know you have an infinite loop if you go to click and run your program, and it doesn't seem to come back with a response. It just keeps clocking in the browser. If you find that, Control-Alt-Delete is your friend if you're on Windows. You basically find a way to close the browser, end the program, and then you can go back and put something in to stop that loop as you debug your program. So I get the item. Now, here's how I get out of this loop. If the item is empty, I asked it now in the positive direction. If empty, $item, break. Break means I'm out of here. I'm getting out of the loop. I'm done. Don't go and look at this code that's below, anything below break. It just simply leaves the loop, goes down to the end of the curly brace, and continues on its merry way if there's any code down below. So that's how that works. So if I'm not empty, then I just fall through. I bump up the counter, I print the item, and on we go. It's very important to make sure you don't skip a condition anywhere in here where you forget to bump up this counter, because you'll keep looking at the same name over and over again, and you'll never hit that empty condition. So watch that. That's a good way to cause yourself an infinite loop. This is a very practical way to do it, where I only have to repeat the condition once that gets me out of a loop. Some purists don't like this method, but it's the method I most often use. I find it easier and more practical to do myself. Now, let's look at one more thing here. I had a grocery list where I skipped the pairs. Remember that? Skip the pairs. Go back real quick and take a look at that. Down here, grocery lists, skipping pairs, apples and carrots. So I didn't display pairs. So here's a new statement I want to introduce to you. It's called the continue statement. Now, the difference between a continue and a break is that break gets out of there, just goes to the end of the loop, and it keeps on going past to the next line of code. But a continue says, all right, I'm leaving the code right now, but instead of going down here, it goes back up here to the while loop. If there were a condition in there, it would check that condition. I happen to put the word true, so it'll always be true. So basically the next line of code will be this. But because I bumped up the counter here, that's okay. I'm going to be looking at a different iteration of item. So I skipped past it. I never worried about printing the pairs. I never printed it when it was pairs. Equals pairs, continue. Get out of here, don't print. So this is a very simple case. We could have structured this differently and not used a continue at all. But I'm just doing this in a simple case to illustrate how that behaves. There may be in a case where you have a while loop with a much larger amount of code in it, where you're going to want to break out of it and iterate back to the top and do the next iteration. Not get out of the loop completely, but just go back to the top and continue. That ends our presentation on the while loop.